how long does it take you to get your original capital out of an investment so that then you can go and put it into something else and do that thing while the other thing continues to pay you a return. When I was 15 years old, I'd started my first business. It was called Mixed Tanks. It was this little operation that I was sort of doing on the side with my dad, where he'd help me kind of build these fish tanks. And I'd sort of hit the road, go out and start speaking to a whole lot of local businesses about this idea and this concept of them having a fish tank in their foyer or their waiting room for their customers and the kids of their customers to muck around with the fish and, have something that was visually appealing in their space. Most people rejected me. There was a few businesses that liked the idea, and I sort of started from there. And what I would do is effectively rent them the fish tank, and then I would come back every 2 weeks, give the fish tank a clean, I'd feed the fish, I'd take out the dead ones. It was a great little business, and I'd literally go in there and have to pick up a check. They would stand there and write out the check. This was back in 2005, 2004. That taught me a lot about the value of cash flow and investing in something where you get a payback. And it would take me about 6 weeks to fully pay back the cost of the fish tank. And so everything else after that was a virtually profit, which made it really easy for me to grow that business. I still think about this today in terms of how long it takes me to get my original investment back. And another example of that is that we've got this company called Elon. It's an embedded network company where we basically go in on the buildings that we build and we put in the solar panels, we set up the embedded network, we put in EV charging stations, and then we supply all of the energy to the commercial tenants. They effectively get cheaper energy. We are generating energy from predominantly the sun, and then we have a wholesale agreement with the supplier that's bringing it in from the grid. But ultimately what we look at is, well, what's the payback of this infrastructure? So if we have to spend $500,000 putting the infrastructure in, we want to make sure that we can get that money back over, say, a period of 3 or 4 years, so that then we can basically roll that into more. And so my question to you is that, are you measuring your payback? Are you measuring the time that it takes you to get your initial capital back out so that you can roll it into something else and continually grow your portfolio? Something to keep in mind.